I read it, so you don't have to. MSP in a Month by Carl W. Palanchuk. I'm going to tell you the good and the bad of this book, my thoughts, my feelings, and ultimately at the end of this, you can decide whether or not it is a good read for you. This is strictly my review and the insights that I got from this book. Before I get into that, I do have to mention my name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs grow from sales training to marketing and even some business operations as well. But people keep coming to us. We keep solving problems. And not only that, but we are doing it in a fantastic way. And we appreciate everybody that reaches out. Now, the second part of this is down in the video description or the podcast if you're listening. The podcast is called MSP Heroes. There are tons of super helpful links down in the video description. I put those links there not for my health, but for you guys. So you guys can go through and grab our free resources under growth-generators.com/resources. There's also trainings down below, other super helpful videos, and some links that we would recommend. Go down there, check it out. I appreciate it, but you're going to get a ton of value out of that. So let's talk about managed services in a month. This is the third edition by Carl W. Palanchuk. And if I'll see if I can get the camera to focus in here, but handsome dude who wrote this book. Now, my thoughts on this book. This book is actually pretty darn good. Not going to lie. Not even going to sugarcoat it. Out of all the MSP books that I've read, this one, in my opinion, is the best. Now, there is a bad side of this, and I'm going to get to that in a minute, but I do want to talk about a lot of the good side because I like to be a positive person, and honestly, this book really caught me off guard. 5 minutes and 25 minutes on Audible. I crushed it front to back and left to right, and here are my thoughts. If you have never started an MSP or you've never worked in an MSP, preferably if you've never worked in an MSP, this book is complete gold. This book is tremendously helpful. I read a lot of books. Just this past weekend, I read 3 books through Audible. Yes, I like to listen to my books, but hey, I could still do things. I could work in the yard, mow my grass, whatever it may be. I love the fact that I can do that. This book is fantastic on audio. I didn't crush it all in one sitting, but I can tell you, if you've never worked in an MSP before, this is gold. Now, why do I actually say that? Depending on where you're at in the MSP, you can see a lot of things. Now, if you're in a very small MSP, the problem is you haven't gotten to the org structure yet that's actually going to help you grow and allow you to take a step back and see what's going on. I would say if you've worked in an MSP between about 10 people all the way up to 50, maybe even 100 people, this book is going to relate and you're going to see a lot of that in your regular day-to-day business. It talks about softwares to use. It talks about services to offer. And when you work at an MSP of that size, it's big enough that you can still take a step back, see what's going on, see what services your current MSP is hiring, and start to feed you a ton of knowledge. This is fantastic. But I know not everybody has that opportunity to work in an MSP. Some people are either coming from their tech job and want to go start an MSP, and that's totally fine as well. Now, if you've never started or never worked in an MSP before, this book, in my opinion, is solid gold. I can't stand when books try to sell you something. Now, I read a lot of books, so I see it fairly regularly, but the whole point of the book is to get you to buy more stuff. It's called the lead magnet. They are leveraging, they're writing these books, they're giving away the books, or they're selling the books. You're going to consume it, feel like you got a ton of information, but then there's no action items. There's nothing else after that. And they say, if you'd like to learn more, come reach out to us and buy something from us. And I'm totally fine with everybody using that as a lead magnet. But what I read a book for is for information. I don't read it to be led on. I spend 5.5 hours reading this book. It's a long book. Because of that, this book in particular does a really good job of not selling you stuff. That's the best part. It tells you what services you need to offer, what softwares you're going to need to fulfill those services. It tells you about the business structure. In my opinion, this is one of the best books out there. Now, what it doesn't teach you, believe it or not, is actually what I teach a lot on this whole entire YouTube channel. Sales and marketing for MSPs. This book does not cover this. This book is the gold standard for how to set one up, how to actually go through and create the products and services that you're going to need. Now, it doesn't talk really anything about pricing in here. It doesn't talk about sales. It doesn't talk about marketing. It just tells you kind of your tech stack that you're going to need to follow. And the cool part is in the beginning of the book, you can actually follow the chapters as you would kind of expect in here. Table of contents, right? Computer consulting in the 21st century. What's different about technology consulting today? It talks about the managed services model, new consulting business versus an existing, break, fix, and hybrid models, cloud services. A lot of what I talk about on this channel, the services that you actually get to provide. This book does a really good job at laying that out. What it doesn't do a good job of, because all good things must come to an end, is a couple different things. The sales and marketing. This will be the Bible for your operations, or the manual for your operations as far as what to actually offer. But after that, it doesn't teach you anything more. And that's totally fine. I think it serves a fantastic place for where it does. Using the softwares, how to use those softwares, how to sell that, how to build the packages with those services that you learn about in this book to actually go sell. That's why I have this channel, by the way. I'd appreciate if you hit that like button, subscribe button, and that notification bell. But that's the difference between this book and, I guess, my channel in a weird way. But this book is fantastic otherwise. Now, my only other caveat with this book is probably not what you think it is. It's actually outdated. This is the 3rd edition. Now, I don't know the exact date, and maybe I could find it pretty quickly on here, but I don't know the exact date that this book was written. I saw something in here from 2017, and that might be true. 2018, copyright. So maybe 2018 this book came out. Here's the problem with this book, in my opinion. While what it talks about is really, really good, in the back of the book, there's actually an entire area back here that will show you all of super helpful links, from rapid fire tools to office.com to a ton of other ones, even Passportal, MSP.com. There's so many in here. But this book is outdated. He talks a lot about SolarWinds. And if you don't know by now, SolarWinds got hacked years ago. It was a tremendously large hack. But not only that, SolarWinds doesn't really exist anymore. It's rebranded as Enable. I forget who bought out who and all of that kind of stuff. I don't really, the political stuff doesn't matter. But SolarWinds is now Enable. There's a lot of softwares that he mentions that were 100% at the time of writing this book, the gold standard. They are not nearly close to being the gold standard anymore. So if you do decide to read this book, absorb all of the information from it. It is truly, truly, truly one of the best MSP books that I have ever read or listened to. I have more coming, by the way, and I've been consuming them like crazy to do reviews like this. By the way, if you want to buy the book, it is down below. But whenever he mentions the software or some kind of service and then recommends a software that does that, go on Google and find something better. Go on Reddit, find something better. Just do your research. That's the only thing. And look, it's not his fault. It's paper. It's not going to get updated in real time like we're so used to seeing on the internet. That's my only other discrepancy with this. This is fantastic for starting. It's going to teach you what you need to know to start. It's going to give you tons of helpful resources in there. At the end of the day, though, you still got to sell it. You still got to market your business. And you also have to make sure that you're using the gold standard of software and even hardware out there, because that's what's going to help keep you in the game, or depending on the industry that you're going after, help create more and more opportunities, picking out that niche that is only going to ultimately help you grow. But other than that, I really got to say, this is one of my favorites. It doesn't feel like it's selling you something. Carl has a tremendous amount of passion for the industry. I was a little concerned. I was like, I'm not going to learn anything. This is going to be boring. I kind of went into it with a bad attitude, and I am so thoroughly impressed and happy that I read this book. Truly. And I won't post somebody's book that I'm going to bash. If anyone thinks like, hey, he's only giving out good reviews at some point, I'm not here to bash people, but I am going to highlight what I think is really good. This is a absolutely fantastic book. And hey, if you spend some time in the car every day, crush it. It's 5 hours. If you spend a half hour going to and from work every day, you're talking about 2 weeks and you'll have this thing done. That is what I would recommend. It is truly a great book. I hope you guys find value in it. If you do pick it up or you've read it, leave me a comment down in the notes. And if you want me to leave a review or give a review on another MSP book, I would love to read it. I still have a long list of books to read. I've already read and listened to several other books. I'm actually waiting for their physical copies to come in so that way I can have nice props in my videos. Other than that, as always, I love the heck out of you guys. I appreciate you guys for checking this out every single day. And other than that, I hope you have a fantastic day or week or month, however it is. Go crush it. Love you guys.